So welcome to everyone on the other side. I'm Jill McCauley. I am the COO of Behavioral Essentials. And today we are going to talk about being a woman in executive leadership in this month and day that celebrates us. We have Courtney Rice, the COO of A&F. Mary Beth is a longtime executive from Full Sail University and now has made the leap into starting her own business, Life and Leadership Essentials. Jana is Director of Coaching from Ironworks Team Consulting. Courtney, Jana, and Mary Beth want to ground this conversation not in your identity or title, because we're much more than that. And we're much more complex than any of our titles. So as we go on this journey, we are humans. And that is part of why we called the session The Whole Woman, because we're a whole person. And what we are at home, in our relationships, with our friends, and in the workplace, it is all intertwined. And we're all interconnected in that journey.
I think what I had to do is say, not can I be successful at this, that's important, but can I matter in, like, will it matter to me what I'm doing? And it did. So if I failed, I wasn't going to be a failure. It's very important to me. I'm obsessed with teaching and learning in whatever I do. And I knew enough about this business, but there was still enough for me to say, I'm going to learn, which was important. And then I knew there were people I could teach things that I had learned along the way. And so it made it exciting. If I had approached it and not seen the opportunity to teach and learn or matter, I probably would not have considered it. So the KPIs of what the business needs is the given, that has to happen, but the how we go about it is much more important or interesting to me.
Recognition that they may have the better idea of how to get something done, and you have to release control of when you've been the doer, and especially as you move up in something, you may have done it a certain way in the past, but that's been hard for me. It's not always easy to do that.
Preach, sister.
Yes, wholeheartly agree. I feel like I had to learn how to put the armor down, which is like I used to show up every day as I'm impenetrable. I mean, nothing's going to happen to me, and then as you rise up in leadership, you need to show more vulnerability, so that others are able to be more of themselves and bring themselves to work, as opposed to a version that you think that other people want.
So we need people around us to help us see and think better. Like, business is not a solo sport. So why would we be trying to do it all ourselves and saying, I know the best? Because it comes back down to what Jenna said, control. Yeah. And feeling a loss of control. No one likes it, but there's so much more control gained when you actually then give up the control. And it's a different type of control, because it's influence, not sticks and carrots.
I'm like, I'm gonna be a manager, And then I was a manager, and we made checklists, and things sometimes got done. And then I watched this guy who didn't do much, and everybody liked him. He was super well respected, and so much stuff got done. And even stuff got taken off the list that shouldn't be done. And then it was fascinating. And I was like, he's a really good manager. And I remember saying this to somebody, and they're like, he didn't do much. He wasn't a taskmaster. Managers manage tasks and processes. Leaders lead people. And the people versus the process is where you should really keep your eyes. And I was like, oh gosh, okay. Leaders lead people, managers manage processes. And I've had this, it's probably been 20 years ago I heard this, but however, I've worked in small business, enterprise business, small business, and that's the biggest challenge, is that I naturally know that my natural state's to lead, and I believe it's important. Coming in and out of businesses or in and out of projects, I do have to, my blind spot again is, today you need to do, because there's stuff that has to get done and we have to, but make sure you fix whatever or get it situated such that you can now lead people into a comfortable place. And so today I'm doing a bunch of doing this very minute, because we have some stuff we got to figure out so that my leaders can actually be set up for success.
The process can be as fractured as it needs to be. If you have good people, the process is still going to run.
Yeah.
So if you are not leading the people who can lead the charge to work through some of those issues, take those pieces and make it happen, you can put the most amazing process together, but if you don't have the people to do it, unless you are an automation company, then you're not going to have that happen. So I love that you said that, and I totally agree. And the level of leadership that we're talking about today really does come down to, how are you helping the people that are making the machine run?
A behavioral essentials coach telling me mid-career, Mary Beth, you are a human being, not a human doing. You need to do less. Lead more, do less. And so, that was a big transition for me to realize, and exactly what you both were saying, Jana and Courtney, you've got to develop the people and the systems and the processes to allow things to run without you.
Because they know about each other. They understand men. They don't always understand women. So if you, which that's like a whole separate conversation, right? So if you get into that opportunity, make that opportunity for yourself. Ask your CEO, ask your leader to go to lunch. Don't talk about business. Get to know them on a human level. Then it makes it easier for you to slide yourself into that position, right? Where, hey, maybe I talk about, we have these synergies with our kids, we have this synergy with our activities. If you see me as this person that I am not, or someone that you don't know, it's easier to keep me out. If you start to get to know them on a human level, it's harder to keep you out at that